Today we are here in downtown Monroe, and this is a town that I have talked extensively about, and it's time that we do a full video tour of Monroe for you. Monroe is a very quaint Southern charm town with a population of just under 16,000 people, and it's located in Walton County. One of the great things about Monroe is that it used to be a town full of a bunch of farms, which means there is a lot of underdeveloped land here in Monroe, which makes it the perfect location for new construction homes. So one of the advantages that you're going to find here in Monroe is that you have tons of affordable new construction homes. One of the best things about Monroe is the price of houses. So the average sales price of a home in Monroe right now is just at about $427,000. Now, a lot of the homes that you're going to find here in Monroe are new construction. So if you're looking for kind of like that modern farmhouse on an acre of land, this is the perfect location to find that. And that's going to set you back around $550,000. And that is a dream if you are looking for a new construction home on acreage and being close to the city. So speaking of Atlanta, we're only about an hour away from Atlanta directly east, and you're about 30 minutes from Athens. So it's a perfect location to kind of get your Southern charm rural town and be close to your everyday modern conveniences. I'm Sarah Maslowski with KeyPoint Homes Group, and we help people relocate here from all over. So if Monroe is an area that you might be considering, we would love to help you. Let's dive into everything that you need to know about living in Monroe, Georgia. Monroe has an adorable downtown area that feels right out of a Hallmark movie. It's got that true Southern charm to it, and it's got that quintessential small town feel. There are a ton of charming small businesses and awesome restaurants right in the downtown area. You've got Coffee Camper Company, which you can literally smell the amazing coffee shop smell from the street every time you walk down it. It always stops me in my tracks, and it smells so good. There's a restaurant called The Row, which has amazing sandwiches and a really great dinner menu. You've also got When Pigs Fly Barbecue, which is a local favorite, and one of my personal favorites is Broad Street Tavern and Grill. They have some really good Southern comfort food and the best fish and chips. It's like a Southern dish, but trust me, you have got to try them. There are some houses within walking distance of downtown which have that older Southern charm to them, and you're also going to see some bigger old Southern homes, most of which are now used for law offices and dental offices. Another thing you're going to find in Monroe a lot is really great antique shopping. There are two huge buildings that are massive antique malls, like big enough that you could spend the majority of the day browsing through all of the different booths. Now, if antiques are not your jam, there is a brand new shopping center called Monroe Pavilion with stores like Ulta, Old Navy, Marshalls. You also have a Publix and a Planet Fitness, which is honestly more than some of the bigger towns. This is kind of like a one-stop shop strip mall, which is very, very convenient. You're also only about 15 minutes from a ton more great shopping in Bethlehem, which has a Target. We know how much I love Target. Chick-fil-A, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, and a lot more. They have a TJ Maxx and a Home Goods. Ladies, I know that you get the impact of that, and a Target right there. If you need to go to Costco or Trader Joe's, you can head about 30 minutes northeast to Athens, where you'll find both of those stores, plus a ton more great shopping options too. This means you're also only about 30 or so minutes from the University of Georgia if you have a student who will be attending college there, or if you want to cheer on the Bulldogs at a football game. Like I mentioned earlier, Monroe was once a farming town, which means there were thousands of acres of fields and farmland that went relatively untouched for quite some time. Since Monroe is just recently going through this massive growth spurt, it's very different from driving through a town, let's say like Gainesville or Beaufort. You aren't going to see home after homes in neighborhoods that have been around for years and years and years. There are a lot more individual homes than there are previously established neighborhoods. Many of those have been around for a long time. You'll also find that there's not a ton of resale options, but there's more of a heavy emphasis on those new construction homes. When you're driving around, you're going to see lots of signs advertising all of the new construction opportunities. The more established neighborhoods that have been there for quite some time are going to have more traditional Southern style home, most of which are kind of in need of some update. Or you're going to find some resale options in neighborhoods neighborhoods that are newer, like built within the past 5 years or so, that won't need any updates. The tricky thing with resale here is that there is not a lot of it. And usually people would rather have a brand new home for the same price as a resale home. One great thing about the new construction is that the builders have been very mindful to keep homes in a similar style to what is already here. So you won't find anything ultra modern. All the homes have that kind of like farmhouse style or more traditional look. And most all of the lot sizes are very generous as well. Like you're looking at like an acre plus, which is amazing. This has to come as a relief to locals who live here for many years because it's kind of maintaining that charm and it's not overcrowding the area. Another thing to note when it comes to new construction is that building from the ground up isn't your only option. Builders have spec houses that are finished and move-in ready or will be in the next 30 to 45 days. You still get the same incentives with these homes and you can close in, a 30-day time frame. So closing in that same time frame that you would as a resale home in Georgia, you just can't make any changes to the design selections since they've already built the home and designed it. I am getting emails daily from builders in the area that have move-in ready homes or homes that you can build from the ground up, and they are offering some amazing incentives like rate buy downs. I recently made a video about home prices being officially too expensive, and we talked about how new construction is one of the best ways to get a great deal on a home in our current market. Another big bonus to Monroe is that it is in an area where if you meet their criteria, you can get a USDA loan, which is a government-backed loan that doesn't require you to make a down payment at closing. So you get your out-of-pocket expenses, which are those closing costs, those can be paid for or rolled into the loan, or if you're buying new construction and the builder is offering those really great incentives, you can practically buy the home with no money out of pocket. So speaking of those incentives, one of the huge benefits of new construction is that builders are giving you money towards your closing costs. Now, not everyone will qualify for a USDA loan. This is a loan program that is designed to help lower income families, so there are income limits to this loan program. But it is worth checking into, and you can still take advantage of those awesome incentives and rate buy downs and builder paid closing costs, even if you don't qualify for a USDA loan. And the incentives that they're offering can drastically reduce your out-of-pocket expenses at closing. Now, if you have questions about what your options are for a loan, let me know and I can get you in touch with my awesome local lenders. I always recommend speaking both with a builder's preferred lender and getting a second opinion from my preferred lender. Sometimes the builder's lender is taking on money in other places to recoup some of the money that they are offering up, but other times they truly are offering a really great deal. My local lenders want the best for you financially, so they will tell you honestly whether or not they can beat that deal that the builder's lender is giving to you, or if they're hiding those fees somewhere else. They'll take a look at the loan estimate and they'll say, hey, that's a great deal and I can't beat it. It would be in your best interest to go that route. We just had a client close on a new construction home in Monroe that was built by Reliant Homes. And y'all, this was one of the highest quality new construction houses that I have seen in a really long time. The finishes were much nicer than a lot of other builders who are building in that price point. It's on a beautiful lot and it has a 3-car garage. I was super impressed by the quality here, and after a ton of searching, my buyer is so pleased with her new home. You really can't find homes like these anywhere else for the same price point. There's also a ton of opportunities for ranches on basements, which we refer to as the unicorns of real estate because they are a much more expensive home for a builder to build and they're hard to find. But you can find them here in Monroe and in that mid $500,000 price point. Again, you just can't find these opportunities anywhere else right now, at least not as many as Monroe has to offer. These great home prices are not going to stay this way forever. As Monroe continues to grow and get more and more developed, prices are going to continue to grow. Now is the time to get in while things are hot, and you will really appreciate the return on your investment if you go to sell in a few years. Between the great location, beautiful new construction options on large lots while still having a ton of great amenities, Monroe is pretty hard to beat. So what do you think? Would you add Monroe to your list? Let me know in the comments below. Also, make sure you sign up for our newsletter to stay up to date on all the things about moving to Georgia. And be sure to check out this video if you are considering making that move.